On this week's edition of the Overtime, NAU football and volleyball are inching towards playoff contention. Then, fall high school sports are slowly coming to a close. Finally, a special guest joins us on the show to talk about her journey as a swimmer and a chef. All that and more on this edition of the Overtime. Hello and welcome to the Overtime. I'm your host, Alyssa Munoz, and today I'm joined by Brooklyn Grizzell, who is actually making her debut on desk. Brooklyn, it's so great to have you here. How are you feeling?
I'm doing great, Alyssa. Thank you so much for having me on. We have a lot to go over tonight.
That's right. Halloween was packed with action as NAU football took on the Idaho Vandals. The game was nationally broadcasted on ESPN2, and although the Lumberjacks left the Sky Dome without a win, they battled until the final second.
That's right, Alyssa. The Lumberjacks sent the game into overtime, but it only took the Vandals one possession to end the game, 35-32.
Sports reporter James Gillies is in studio to tell us more about this spooky matchup.
Thanks, Alyssa. On a night known for screams, scares, and candy, NAU football suffered a close loss to the Idaho Vandals in a primetime game that truly was a thriller. On Halloween night, the Lumberjacks lost 35-32 to the Idaho Vandals on the national stage. The Lumberjacks started the scoring when redshirt junior Ryan Fontaine blocked a punt and returned it for a highlight reel touchdown. Idaho responded quickly and continued to score, securing a 26-7 lead midway through the third quarter. NAU junior quarterback Ty Pennington then led the Lumberjacks to a comeback, erasing a 19-point deficit in the fourth quarter, which included a 2-point conversion as the lights went out. But the Vandals tied the game with a field goal at the end of regulation and then won in overtime. NAU struggled with late downs, going 4 for 15 on third downs and 2 for 5 on fourth downs. Head coach Brian Wright held himself accountable for his aggressive play calling.
You know, I made a couple really bad calls on third down in the first half, and that really cost us. We had 2 third and shorts and tried the trick play on one, and then, I messed up the call on the other one, so that really hurt us there.
Coach Wright praised his players during the game, including redshirt junior running back Seth Cromwell, who rushed for 116 yards against Idaho.
He's just a warrior, and he does a great job running physical and making plays, even when sometimes plays aren't there. So finally got him, over that 100-yard threshold. It's well deserved by him and really our group on offense.
The loss puts the Lumberjacks' record at 5-4, and with 3 games remaining in the season, quarterback Ty Pennington says it's important for the team to focus on improving each day.
I would say just not looking forward, too far into the future, not expecting anything. Just take it week by week, day by day. Focus on getting better each day. Focus on winning this next football game.
Wild game throughout, and a 2-point conversion by the Lumberjacks caught national attention as the Sky Dome lights went out.
Penning had time, but the lights went out.
And he caught the ball. He caught the ball in the dark. He literally caught. That is I've never seen that in my life.
NAU will return to the Sky Dome this Saturday against the 3-6 Northern Colorado Bears for homecoming. The Lumberjacks will debut a new helmet design for this game, the Leaning Lumberjack, which serves as NAU's official logo from 1987 till 2005. I'm James Gillies for NAZ Sports. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, James. NAU will be looking for a win this weekend in order to climb back into the FCS playoff conversation. The Bears will be lining up in the Sky Dome after 3 consecutive losses.
The Lumberjacks are hungry for a win, especially after the close loss last weekend. The energy will be high since it is also homecoming weekend, and Coach Wright expects the Dome to be packed with Lumberjack pride.
As always, coverage of the homecoming matchup versus the Bears will be available right here on the Overtime. Now, let's take a look at NAU volleyball. The Lumberjacks have been sitting comfortably at the top of Big Sky rankings for the past several weeks. The Lumberjacks beat both the Montana Grizzlies and the Montana State Bobcats this past weekend. Sports reporter Lydia Schweiders has the story.
Saturday at Roll Activity Center, the NAU volleyball team defeated Montana State 3-2 in a nail-biter of a game, improving their overall record to 19-5 and Big Sky record to 9-2. Head coach Murphy says senior Kira Hall serving was fundamental to the success of the game.
I think we were playing that whole set pretty well, actually. I thought we just had a couple near misses on scoring some points and making a little bit longer breakthrough. There's no question having Kira serving is a plus for us. And when she goes back there, we feel confident we're going to create some points. And she scored 6 in a row right there with her serve. So.
The Lumberjacks came out strong, winning their first set with a dominant game. Then Montana State came out to the second set strong and evened the match 1-1.
Ken was just telling us to be ourselves. When we put pressure on teams, that's when we're the most successful. So we said to keep swinging high and swinging hard and not letting them get away with anything easy.
Senior Sophia Wadsworth led NAU in kills, having the second most of the game and third in blocks. NAU continues to hold down their number 1 spot in the Big Sky Conference with just 5 games left in the regular season schedule. The Lumberjacks will be back in the Roll Activity Center next week to host Weber State on Thursday and Idaho State on Saturday. Lydia Schwieters, NAZ Sports.
NAU is currently undefeated at home this season. As volleyball is near the end, NAU looks to stay at the top of the Big Sky before heading to the conference tournament.
NAU has not won the Big Sky tournament since 2018, with 5 games left in the regular season and 3 teams within 1 game of each other for first place. Every game is crucial for the Lumberjacks.
Very true. NAU sports have been on a roll. We are headed to a quick break, but stick around. When we return, we'll take a closer look at some local high schools and how their fall seasons are going. Stay tuned.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
There are a lot of temptations facing young people today, like electronic cigarettes and skateboarding. Each vape pod can contain the same amount of nicotine as a pack of cigarettes. This can lead today's youth to a lifelong addiction and severe lung damage. Recall and consider the facts before making a poor decision.
The health class film guy isn't the best person to talk to your kid about vaping.
Got a few minutes?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back. Flagstaff High School volleyball has had an incredible season thus far. Their sweep against Bradshaw Mountain marks their 15th consecutive win.
Yes, the Eagles are certainly flying high once again this year. You might remember that last year, after going undefeated in the Grand Canyon region, the Eagles fell to the Saguaro in the first round playoffs. But this year, they seem stronger than ever. Senior outside hitter Lillian Hartman and junior middle blocker Hannah Thom have had incredible seasons. Hartman has been especially remarkable with over 450 kills on the season, but they'll have to bring the heat the next few weeks. Head coach Beth Haglin has said repeatedly that the expectation for this team is another state championship.
Wow, that's awesome, Alyssa. The Eagles are hosting their first playoff game tonight against the Thunderbird Titans, who they swept 3-0 earlier this season.
Yes, that is set to be a great matchup as the Eagles will fight to tie up some loose ends from last year's playoffs.
In other news for the Eagles, the crosstown football rivalry matchup between the Eagles and the Coconina Panthers wrapped up on Thursday. Sports reporter Matt Begay has the story.
The Coconino Panthers took on the Flag High Eagles for the annual city championship game last Thursday in the Skydome. With Coconino's loss to Bradshaw Mountain on the 24th, I caught up with Panthers head coach Gary Cook on what was the biggest factor that led to the win in their rivalry game.
I'd say, we played very, very well on offense. We scored almost every time. We punted at the very end of the game, and then we fumbled into the end zone here. We scored 47 points. We scored almost every time we had the ball. We were very efficient, balanced, throwing, running. Really good night on offense. And the defense played well, too.
Although Coconino came out strong in the first quarter, the team faced setbacks, such as miscommunication and early penalties. Coach Cook describes how the team handled pressure throughout the game.
I think it's the same as any of these flag Coco games. You know, they're kind of accustomed to it. They've been doing it most of their life, and you know, it was kind of a workmanlike week in practice, so they handled it fine.
The Panthers seniors had a big impact on this year's rivalry game. Players like quarterback Jake Hanley and running back Dylan Collado. Senior cornerback AJ Reagan had an outstanding game overall, playing both sides of the ball. In the last minute of the first quarter, Reagan had a memorable pick six that built an early momentum. Reagan talks about the team's strong will as they head into the 4A state playoffs.
I think just our will to never quit, even if it's down. Like, we've been down so many times. Well, not in this game, but before. Previous games, we've been down so many times, but we just never quit. And I think it's just our willpower. We never quit, and I think that's our strongest point for our team.
The Panthers winning 47-21. This captures a 9th consecutive city championship for Coconino. The Panthers will be hosting the first playoff game in almost 6 years this Friday night as they take on the Mesquite Wildcats. Matthew Begay, NAZ Sports.
Unfortunately, the Flagstaff Eagles missed the playoffs this year, but the Coconino Panthers are in.
Yes, they are. The Panthers will be hosting the Mesquite Wildcats tomorrow. The Wildcats are 5-5 and ranked 4th in their region, so it's set to be a great matchup.
We'll have the recap right here on the Overtime.
After this break, we'll be joined by a special guest who excels as a breaststroke swimmer here at NAU. But she's got another talent that may surprise you. Don't go anywhere.
Nice.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
All right, look at you taking the stairs. Who are you?
We're your lungs. We are proud of you for quitting smoking, but you still may be at risk for lung cancer.
A routine cancer scan can detect it early when it's more curable. Good to know. Well, I gotta go somewhere.
So do we.
Listen to your lungs. Get a routine screening that could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Welcome back. NAU's own Cydnie Perkins is most known for her A-team status as a swimmer, but her expertise extends beyond the pool. She's incredibly skilled in the water, but she's got a hidden talent too.
Culinary arts require skills that are undoubtedly tough to master. It's a profession that brings your favorite dish at the restaurant you love to life. But who is behind that dish can be as fascinating as the cuisine itself. When NAU senior Cydnie Perkins isn't serving up a 5-course meal, she's making a splash as a Division I athlete on the Lumberjack swim team. The Arizona native specializes in breaststroke and has helped the Lumberjacks win 3 straight conference championships during her time at NAU. She was drawn to the school for the coaching staff, facilities, and especially the team atmosphere.
Coming in and joining a sports team as a freshman, I felt very lucky because I almost instantly had a group of people that I could go to and become friends with, not just on the swim team, but you're automatically associated with all of the other sports team athletes.
As executive sous chef and a founding member of NAU's gastronomy club, Cydnie is a culinary powerhouse. Travis Bradford, assistant professor of practice at the School of Hotel and Restaurant Management, praises Cydnie's leadership in the kitchen and impact on the program.
In the sense of teamwork, watching her work in the kitchen, she's not just a great team player and worker, but she's really highlighting her leadership skills because she's doing something that she already knows, but she's showing the other students that are in her class to bring them along with her.
However, as much as you may find Cydnie honing her skills in the pool, you may also catch her preparing a delicious spread for anyone to enjoy. Whether she is in her swim or chef uniform, NAU swim coach Andy Johns says Cydnie is driven by the pursuit of excellence.
Yeah, she works super hard. She tends to maybe be a little hard on herself, which is not always the best, but she definitely puts out a great effort. And in the pool, in the classroom, in the weight room, she works hard. She's not afraid to work hard, that's for sure.
But having Cydnie on the team definitely has its perks.
And the best thing is when she cooks something or bakes something and brings it to practice for us to all eat.
Along with her athletics and extracurriculars, she also works at the Annex, a highly acclaimed restaurant and lounge where she was recently promoted to kitchen manager. Cydnie says managing her busy schedule is like perfecting a recipe, something that took time and patience.
A lot of time management, a lot of practice and trial and error. There have been times where I've missed out on certain swim things or certain work things because I didn't balance the two well enough.
However, her passion for swimming and culinary arts is what fuels her to keep pursuing both.
Those are two of the things that I prioritize most in my life, and you can really do anything you want if you are passionate enough about it and are willing enough to do the hard work it takes to get there. Like it's hard, but I want to do it, so I'm doing it.
It was so great getting to know the other side of Cydnie, but now she's here in studio to tell us more about her love for the culinary arts. Cydnie, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course, first off, I just have to know, because of Coach Johns, what kind of foods do you bring for your teammates, and do they love it?
I mean, I've brought a wide variety of different things to the team, from muffins or bagels to morning practice. I've made dinner for the team, cookies around holiday season. It just depends on what's going on.
And I know for your gastronomy club events, you will often prepare different dishes and different courses for those who attend. What is sort of your process for coming up with these meals that you serve?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. You really have to take into consideration what the demographic that you're catering for at whatever restaurant or program that you're making food for. For example, we did a fundraiser at Annex a couple weeks ago, and we wanted to come up with a special dish to sell for the night. And so we first had to think about what the people who were going to eat at Annex wanted and what they would be willing to pay for. And we also had to take into consideration what the restaurant already had in stock for food and what they order in already. So we ended up partnering up with Tinderbox, our sister restaurant, and we used a bunch of their elk scrap from their elk fillets that they do and turned them into meatballs, and it was a huge success. It was awesome.
That sounds awesome, Cydnie. How do you think being an athlete has shaped your life this far?
I mean, in countless ways, swimming has taught me so many invaluable life skills, from discipline and resilience to time management and teamwork and leadership. I could go on and on about how swim directly translates into my personal life and my professional life, especially in the culinary world, where things like staying cool under pressure and being able to lead a team and not get overwhelmed by everything that's going on around you and have a strong work ethic. Swim has just engraved those things into my brain over the years, and I see it translate daily.
That's amazing. Thank you, Cydnie. Well, that's all the time we have for our show today. Cydnie, thank you again for coming in, and I'll be sure to try your next dish.
I'd like to thank our sports reporters James Gillies, Lydia Schwieters, and Matt Begay. I'd also like to thank my co-host Brooklyn Grizzell. My name is Alyssa Munoz, and we'll see you on the next edition of the Overtime.